Clemson looks like he's playing 7-on-7.
University of Phoenix Stadium doesn't actually house a college football team, but played host to the 2007 and 2011 BCS championships and now the 2016 College Football Playoff National Championship between top-ranked Clemson and number 2 Alabama. Welcome into beautiful Glendale, Arizona, everybody, for Campus Insiders coverage of the national championship brought to you by Nova Home Loans. Bonnie Bernstein alongside Shae Peppler. And Shae, we got some breaking injury news here. Shaq Lawson was the big story in the lead-up with his knee injury. We'll get to that in just a second. But Mackenzie Alexander, Clemson's best cornerback, is now reportedly going to be limited or perhaps out entirely with a hamstring injury. Critical because Calvin Ridley, the emerging freshman for Clemson, has been a huge vertical threat in the last couple of games. So now that responsibility will probably fall by and large to Mr. Tankersley. But we're going to talk about Shaq too.
Yeah, Shaq Lawson was the story at Media Days. We were all trying to get information out of head coach Dabo Swinney, out of their offensive coordinator, out of their players. And in talking to the players, they all told me he's 100% ready to go. Now, I know you heard a different story in talking to their head coach.
Well, I asked Shaq, and he said 60%. And then when I spoke to Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, he said, oh, really? I would put it at 80. But the fact of the matter is, Clemson, for all of the depth that Alabama's defensive line has, Clemson also does too. And we're going to be breaking this game down over the course of the next hour to a fine powder, talking about Clemson's pursuit for its first national title since 1981 and Bama's fourth title in the last 7 years. We got all sorts of stuff coming up. We've got Pete Fiutak, our college football analyst. He's going to be talking about that Tide defensive line. Can that front seven spoil the day for Deshaun Watson at Clemson?
Yeah, we're also going to do a little game of State Your Case. It was my favorite game we played in the college football playoff show all season long. So we're going to play it again. Can Clemson's offense move the chains against Alabama's defense? We will debate.
And regarding Clemson's offense, we're going to be heading out to our 120 studios in Chicago with Ray Crawford and Brian McFadden. And BMAC's going to be talking about the Clemson running game. You know, can they get it done? Can they complement Deshaun Watson to get it done?
And you can't have a college football playoff show without doing predictions, right? So we'll get predictions from our analysts, from Bonnie and myself, and of course some celebrities as well.
Well, before we get to all of the serious stuff, we've been boots on the ground since last Thursday?
I know, I'm losing track of days now. I think it was Thursday. I'm not really sure.
I can't even keep track anymore, but we're going to give you a little taste of the best. What's been going on in the greater Phoenix area, from Fan Fest to Media Days to music acts, and CI, kind of flexing our muscles a little bit. Let me see them. Mine sort of stack up, right? Sun's out, guns out.
Dabo dancing.
Oh, all in.
Not in.
What coach do you know can dance as good as that?
Not in. Wow, quick answer.
We lock the bus door because what we make up for in dancing talent, we make up with heart. We're just really passionate dancers.
So you've heard Kylie Jenner is dating the Clemson quarterback, Deshaun Watson. What are your thoughts?
I think Deshaun Watson can do better.
Roll Tide or all in?
Roll Tide or all in?
Yeah.
I didn't grasp the connotation of that phrase.
Who was a better back at the end of his college career, Mark Ingram or Derrick Henry?
I can't say anybody's better than me,
Roll Tide if you like it. Roll over if you don't. Justin Bieber.
Roll over.
Roll Tide. I mess with my boy.
Yeah, my man, see?
Roll Tide.
Yeah. Come on, you know you
Roll
like
Tide.
it.
He's already won 4 national championships. This is the first one I've sniffed.
Yeah, we've been having some fun out here in Phoenix. I would definitely say that. But you know who also has been having some fun was back in Chicago? That'd be Bryant McFadden. He told me back before week 1 of the college football season that Clemson was going to be the dark horse to make it to this college football playoff national championship game. And here we are. So the smart ones are in Chicago. Ray Crawford and Bryant McFadden standing by. Guys, what's going on?
Well, we may be smarter here, but we're definitely not warmer, that's for sure. Much better weather where you're at in Glendale. Shae, thanks very much. Not only here with a player who has played and been in that locker room prior to the kickoff, but he's done it at the highest level. BMAC, 3 Super Bowl games that you played in. You were 2-1. So take us inside those final moments when the media's all done, all those obligations are over with. Take us inside the mind of a player here as we're leading up to the hours before kickoff.
Right now, leading up hours before kickoff, as a player, you want to get away from the outside world. You want to cut your phone off. You want to just lay in your room and just relax. You want to visualize yourself as a player making huge, impactful plays throughout the course of this ball game. And the same for your team, because that's very, very powerful. You see it before it actually happens. You're well prepared. You're understanding what you potentially could see offensively or defensively. Now just go out and make it happen. And most importantly, like I said, relax, because it's easy to get overhyped in these ball games. And my best medication for me to calm down is Phil Collins. In the air tonight. In the air tonight, viewers listening to me, listen, that is a very, very huge thing for me to do as a player, because it calms me down and it also gets me fired up at the same time.
Yeah, right in the drum solo, right?
Oh, my goodness.
That's pretty good.
It's time to rock and roll.
We've heard so many players say the nerves kind of go away. Once that ball's kicked and the first hit happens, the nerves go away. But any team would be nervous by this Alabama defense. And last week they were able to shut down that Michigan State offense led by Connor Cook. They're going to face a quarterback completely different, though, in Deshaun Watson. 332 yards of total offense in that win over Oklahoma at the Orange Bowl. What kind of impact can he put a dent in this Alabama defense? We're going to talk about that and more when we continue from here in Chicago and Glendale on Campus Insiders.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. A secret hiding spot brings to life hush whispers and quiet giggles. And a fairy tale is a magical ending to a perfect day. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs, Hide and Seek, Bedtime Stories, and you.
Campus Insiders, it's new, it's innovative.
It's the digital destination for all things college sports.
We got highlights,
award-winning programming.
I think that's a positive thing.
Over 2,000 live streaming games.
Campus Insiders.
Style lets you stand out from the herd. What's inside sets you apart. The 2016 Cadillac Escalade.
You see them through all of life's ups and downs. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
Downfield, open receiver, Scott, touchdown, Clemson. Under pressure, got away from one, but Lawson will bring him down.
Welcome back, right here with B-Mac, and a very loyal guy, being a Florida State guy to the ACC. So we're going to talk in this segment about Clemson. Let's start first with number 4, the quarterback. What kind of damage do you think Deshaun Watson can do against this Alabama defense?
I think he can cause a lot of damage. I think he needs to for them to have an opportunity to win this ball game. I mean, Deshaun Watson, he's more of the one. He's a very, very dynamic quarterback. He's a finalist for the Heisman, deserving so. And when he's at his best, this team offensively, they're at their best. And you look at Alabama's defense as of late. The kryptonite for Alabama, I think, defensively is playing against a mobile quarterback. You go back to the Texas A&M days with Johnny Manziel. Remember, Johnny Manziel's freshman campaign, they beat Alabama. Then the second year, they had a lot of success. It was a very, very competitive game there in Bama. So I think Alabama has issues with mobile quarterbacks that run a spread attack that has the ability to carve you up with their arm or with their legs. And I think Deshaun has to really show his stature tonight.
Watson with 145 yards in that Orange Bowl win over Oklahoma. Wayne Gallman had 150 yards. You think potentially he could be an X factor? What kind of game do you expect to see from him tonight?
I think Wayne has to go at least over 100. I think he needs to. It's very, very rare that you have a 1,400-yard rusher and a guy that had 12 touchdowns be an afterthought in your offense. Deserving so because all the attention goes to Deshaun Watson. But Gallman has done a tremendous job for this team running the football and allowing them to be a balanced attack. Now, in the backfield, you have to worry about Deshaun and you also have to worry about Gallman. But I'm willing to bet that Alabama will focus all their attention on Deshaun, making sure he's not a factor in the run game, and that will open up windows for Gallman.
We got so used to seeing Derrick Henry just running up on people each and every Saturday this year. A little slow in that Cotton Bowl, although he got things going later in the game in that victory over Michigan State. Jake Coker, really the game of his life, I don't think hardly any of us expected to see. So if you're Clemson's defense, that's the worst nightmare, right? If both of those guys get going tonight in this one?
No question. I think you have to make Alabama, this offense, one-dimensional. And their best player is Derrick Henry. He won the Heisman. He had all the numbers to really prove that award. And if you can stop him, now you put pressure on who? Coker, a guy who we believe to be a pretty good game manager. He's not an explosive quarterback, but if you allow Coker to get this thing rolling like he did against Michigan State, now you have issues. And I think for Clemson, you got to make this team one-dimensional. We understand their calling card has been running the football. Stop the big horse in the backfield. Now, Jake Coker, can you beat Clemson? I don't think he can, but if Derrick Henry is rolling, now you take more pressure off of Coker's plate.
Could be a little bit easier for Coker tonight and Calvin Ridley with the news that Mackenzie Alexander limited to out for this game with a hamstring. How does that impact Clemson's defense and their ability to stop this passing game?
It's going to be a huge blow if Mackenzie isn't able to go. One of the best corners in the country. I mean, I have him going at least top 15, top 18 if he decides to declare for this upcoming draft. If he is in a uniform, it puts more pressure on the front seven. Of course, with Shaq Lawson, he's active tonight. He will be in uniform. But now you have to be able to stop the run with maybe a 5 or 6 man front. Because when you have McKenzie in the back end, you can allow this guy to find number 3, which is Calvin Ridley, man to man. Make him irrelevant in this ball game. And he has been successful doing that. Will Fuller against Notre Dame, when they played against Notre Dame, Will Fuller was a non-factor. Look at the job he did against Oklahoma a few weeks ago. I mean, that was a dynamic passing attack, and their best guy was a non-factor because McKenzie was following him. So if he's not in the lineup, man, that front seven, they're going to have to play lights out because now you're taking away one of the best cover corners in the game.
It's one of those games, bring your own guts, right?
Yes,
Remember, Dabo Swinney coined that phrase earlier this season. Swinney, as you may or may not know, Alabama born and bred. Not only that, he spent his first 31 years in the state of Alabama. He had a chance to talk with Seth Davis and discuss the excitement of playing his alma mater.
Your alma mater.
Yeah.
Alabama. You went there, you coached there for a number of years, playing for the national championship, biggest game of your life. Would that be a little bit weird for you?
Oh, man, God's got a sense of humor, doesn't he? Isn't that awesome? I would love that. I mean, that would be a dream matchup. It really would. There's a lot of Clemson fans in Alabama. There'd be a lot of conflicted people going into that game, but that would be a lot of fun because they kind of are they're the standard. I mean, that's just the way it is. We haven't won a national championship here at Clemson since 1981. And, we're going to win one. We're going to win again. Hopefully it's this year. But it's coming. That I know.
Well, certainly B-Mac, a coach that's paid his dues and is this close to getting to the top of the mountain.
No question. I respect Dabo to the fullness. I think this guy is a very, very high-energy coach. He loves to interact with his players. He's a player's coach. And I give this comparison from the pro college standpoint. He is the Pete Carroll of college football with a Southern draw. Because you see him interacting with the players. You can tell the players actually love him. They love playing for him. And that's why they have had so much success as of late, because this is a guy that really has put a standard for Clemson football. The players have bought into what he has been selling, and now they have been very, very successful. I mean, look at the past recruiting classes for Clemson. It's about Dabo. It starts with Dabo, and it's a domino effect all the way down on his coaching staff. And like I said, if Florida State wasn't able to be where Clemson currently is, I don't have a problem rooting for Clemson tonight because, of course, they're representing the ACC.
That's right. That's right. Interesting note here about Clemson coaches. Dabo Swinney, Frank Howard, Danny Ford, the top three in terms of total wins in Clemson history, all Alabama graduates. How interesting is that?
Impressive.
Hey, what if you were young in your college career and you wanted to be a reporter like us here at Campus Insiders and you had a chance to go cover the national championship? We had a national search. Check out Cam Rogers. We put him on the streets in Glendale.
All right, so I was a stud intramural quarterback in college here. Do you think I could play for your team? No. Oh, why not? I have the arm. Oh, we have some yeses over here.
Campus Insiders, it's new, it's innovative.
It's the digital destination for all things college sports.
We've got highlights of your favorite college teams.
Do you believe it?
Award-winning programming.
But this is what you're going to get if you come to Notre Dame.
Over 2,000 live streaming exclusive games.
Are you kidding me?
With insiders on campuses nationwide.
Your school.
Our team.
This is Campus Insiders.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
Style lets you stand out from the herd. What's inside sets you apart. The 2016 Cadillac Escalade.
Are you okay, Mom? Yes, I am.
You can never go too far for the ones you love. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
Welcome back to Glendale, Arizona, and Campus Insiders. Continuing coverage of the national championship brought to you by Nova Home Loans. You know, Justin Timberlake was bringing sexy back, and now we're bringing Confucius back.
Yeah, I am.
Pete Fiutak in the house. Let's hone in on Alabama for a little bit. All season long, the Tide mantra has been finish. They have never been able to erase that memory of losing to Ohio State in the playoff last year. But when you look at what truly separates Alabama from Clemson, what comes to mind for you?
Lots of good players. I mean, everyone's got their little slogan and their poster
players.
with a kitten,
okay.
hanging on a tree or something. But
but you can have all the t-shirts, all the slogans you want. They just have better players, and they've proved it out throughout this season. One of the big keys has been their opponents, as we've seen across this bowl season. The ACC just has not been that great. Clemson's opponents in the bowl season, 2-6, 2 of those wins coming from Appalachian State, and a Louisville team that played a Texas A&M team without a quarterback. Meanwhile, SEC did great this bowl season, 8-3 overall for Alabama opponents. They just played better teams. Because Alabama's better. They've beaten better teams. I think they're just a better college football team. I think
Not to mention what's basically become this legendary front seven for Alabama.
Yeah.
How many, they'll have like 3 high draft picks
of them, yeah,
in the draft.
they're great.
You know, Ray and BMAC were just talking about Mackenzie Alexander being hampered and how Jake Coker could be able to capitalize out in the vertical game with Ridley. But if there's another weakness that Clemson could have that Bama can really seize, what would that be?
I think that just they're a finesse team. I mean, they're a very good finesse team, but this is not a powerful offensive line. They're not going to blow the Alabama defensive front off the ball, and on defense on the other side of the ball, they're just not going to be able to stop the running game. I think they're just going to keep pounding Derrick Henry over and over and over again. It's going to take a half. I think Clemson's going to keep this close for a while, but I think in the second half, they're just going to keep running Derrick Henry over and over and over again. It'll be scintillating football for America.
We didn't see Henry as much in the Cotton Bowl as we anticipated. He's had several 40-carry games.
He's carrying.
If you're going to give me a number, how many carries? Is
I think 40. I think they're going to keep running him again, because what are they saving him for now? It's the national championship. He's the closer. He's Mariano Rivera. They're just going to keep running him all throughout the game.
So if the Tide closes it out, that will be 5 championships for Nick Saban, including the one he had at LSU. And he's sort of approaching this rarefied Bear Bryant air. Of course, he had 6 championships. The storyline comes up every year. Is Nick Saban going to stay in college? There are the murmurs about the NFL. Could this be his last game?
If he's not, it's his time. I mean, it's a perfect opportunity, because next year they lose a ton of talent. Now, it's Alabama. They just reload. But there's a difference between being really good in 10-2 and being Alabama and being national championship good. And if you're Nick Saban, you don't really want to wait for 2 years before your national title good again. So this would be the time to go. The schedule's pretty nasty. New York Giants opportunities right there. If he ever wants to do it, this would be it.
10-2 is so not acceptable in Tuscaloosa.
It's not. It's not acceptable in the SEC to anybody. And we saw it this year.
Well, speaking of Saban, Seth Davis had a chance to sit down with the coach earlier this year, and he asked him about whether Saban embraces success or not so much.
I'm looking down from 40,000 feet and thinking, gosh, he really had so much success. I mean, I would just wonder, it's almost a little sad that you don't enjoy it more and live in that moment. You're always on to what's next.
But really, if you're a competitor, it's all about your next play. It's all about your next game. It's all about the next shot. So that's what we try to focus on. Tradition, standard of excellence, it's always under construction. It's never completed. And when you think it is completed, then I think that's time to, step aside and, go sit on a log somewhere on the side of the hill and, watch the water go by.
You can check out Seth's full Saban interview on CampusInsiders.com, as well as one with Dabo Swinney. Coming up on our national championship coverage, we're going to do a little state your case. Shae will be back with Jordan Cornette and ACCDN's Jeff Fischel. They're going to bandy it around. Stay tuned.
Style lets you stand out from the herd. What's inside sets you apart. The 2016 Cadillac Escalade.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
Here is Connor, leaping for a touchdown. That's a man's game. Touchdown of the show. Holy famous Davis. He's got it. Fumble. Touchdown.
Campus Insiders, it's new, it's innovative.
It's the digital destination for all things college sports.
We've got highlights of your favorite college teams.
Do you believe it?
Award-winning programming.
But this is what you're going to get if you come to Notre Dame.
Over 2,000 live streaming exclusive games.
Are you kidding me?
With insiders on campuses nationwide.
Your school.
Our team.
This is Campus Insiders.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
Time for one of our favorite games, State Your Case.
The truth shall set you free.
That's well.
Still one of my favorite movies of all time, Liar, Liar. I love it. I say it every time. Guys, so we're going to play a game here of State Your Case. Jeff Fischel, Jordan Cornette here with me. Jeff Fischel of the ACC Digital Network is going to take the side of the Clemson Tigers here, going to tell me how Deshaun Watson and that offense are going to push through that Alabama defense. And Jay's going to state his case for why the Alabama defense are going to stop him and not let that happen. So here we go. Hats, Clemson, Alabama. Jeff, you're up first.
Do I put Jordan? I need a little advice. Do I put this
corny.
on?
It's pretty corny how it's set up.
Do I put it on right now, or do I wait till the end?
You put the hat on and you state your case.
All right. So
I wait till the very last second myself.
I see you didn't. You waited until
I'll tell you, it's already on. Then once it's on, then you're fully in character. You're Jeff Fischel right now. When the hat comes on, you're
Griffey Jr. backwards.
There you go.
All right, I'll state my case right now. There's no problem stating my case for Clemson. They've been fantastic. They are the only undefeated team in the country right now, 14-0. You start with Deshaun Watson. A good game tonight. He becomes the first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards in a single season. You look to Wayne Gallman, who's going to go over 1,500 yards tonight. Look around the outside. Artavis Scott headed for 90 catches in a single season. Then you look to the defense. Shaq Lawson's hurt. He's going to play some. We don't know how well. There's depth behind him. It's my camera over here. See, these are the things we don't work on and do before I come up here. The linebackers are solid and veteran Ben Boulware and BJ Goodson. The defense can recover from Mackenzie Alexander not being 100%. I like the younger guys, Ryan Carter, Adrian Baker. They can fill that gap a little bit. So, yes, I'm sticking with the Clemson Tigers. I'm repping the ACC. The Tigers will be the first team ever.
Now he puts
it on. Hashtag all in. There it is.
15-0. There you go.
Now, Jeff, that sounds all great and good, but I'm going to stick talking about why this Alabama defense can stop your boy Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
It starts with practice. It starts with a guy people really haven't heard about, Jalen Hurts, a scout team quarterback. He just got there, arrived on campus as a freshman just a week ago. He's played a huge role for Crimson Tide, mimicking the performance and the style of play of your Deshaun Watson. So the Alabama defense has got a great look at what they need to expect when they go against Deshaun Watson, a dual threat guy who can throw and run. Alabama's got the practice work in. But Jeff, do they really need the practice work? In the last 10 quarters, how about this for a run defense? They've given up 45 yards, this Crimson Tide defense. Think about those last 3 games. Those are big-time 3 games right there. That's a Cotton Bowl, that's an SEC championship, that's an Iron Bowl, and they have delivered. The front seven, this front seven is going to get it done. Why? Reggie Ragland is going to contain the corners. They're going to keep that quarterback in Watson, take away the run game, make him a passer. And when they do, it's going to be a long day for the Clemson Tigers.
Man, usually I have to be the one that takes my pick, states my case, all this kind of stuff. Both gave very good arguments, although I did pick Alabama to win, so I got to just stick with my guns. You sold it well. You sold it well.
Can I say this? Dabo, in the last 2 years in bowl games, he's beaten Les Miles, national champion.
True.
He's beaten Urban Meyer, national champion. The last 2 years, Bob Stoops, the last 2 years, national championship coach. The one guy left, who's really been one of the great coaches the last 20 years. He's gotten everybody else. He hasn't gotten Nick Saban.
The last guy he has to beat has 4 national championships to his name, looking for his 5th. So it's a pretty big game right now.
Yeah.
Nick Saban, a lot of people are talking about who's the guy to replace him. It could be your boy Dabo, but not for a while.
So
Nick
now
Saban,
you already have him leaving Clemson?
Nick Saban still has a lot of work still to be
On
done.
top of that, though, you've got 2 guys out for Clemson. You're unsure about how healthy they're going to be, and these are 2 of your biggest playmakers. So it's just, I want to say Clemson, but I got to go with Jay.
I'll tell you this. I'm not just going to go ahead and crown Alabama in this.
No, it's a close game.
Agreed.
I
think Alabama's going to keep it, or Clemson, excuse me. Keep it
See,
close.
you made the mistake because you know.
Crimson, Clemson.
Energy.
It's too much. We'll get to more predictions later on in the show. Will Clemson do the unthinkable and knock off the Alabama Crimson Tide, or Will Alabama bring the SEC back to where it's supposed to be? Is that what we all think? Back to prominence. Stay here. We'll be right back.
Can we take these dumb hats off now?
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. A secret hiding spot brings to life hushed whispers and quiet giggles. And a fairy tale is a magical ending to a perfect day. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs, Hide and Seek, Bedtime Stories, and you.
You see them through all of life's ups and downs. Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
Campus Insiders, it's new, it's innovative.
It's the digital destination for all things college sports.
We've got highlights,
award-winning programming.
I think that's a positive thing.
over 2,000 live streaming games.
Campus Insiders.
Style lets you stand out from the herd. What's inside sets you apart. The 2016 Cadillac Escalade.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
We've seen a lot of desert scenery over the last couple of days, but now it's time for the scenery to switch to some football. Hours away from kickoff here from University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have a big broadcast team out here in Phoenix, Arizona. There's quite a few of us, but we added one more to that team just a couple weeks ago. Check this out.
Cam Rogers here, your 2015 Campus Insiders guest reporter, and I am roaming playoff fan central here. It's Alabama, it's Clemson, it's the national championship game, and time to get some opinions from the public. We have some Alabama faithful here. How confident are you guys for Monday night?
Pretty confident. I watch them every week, and they're going to pull through for us.
Are you intimidated at all by Alabama and Nick Saban?
Not at all.
Not at all. No.
Not at all.
We're all in with Dabo and the Tigers.
Our defense is the best run defense in the country, so we're ready. I think they're ready, and this is going to be an exciting game.
Now, this is a tough one against Alabama, of course, the perennial national championship contenders. Are you worried at all? Are you intimidated by Alabama?
No, because we have Deshaun Watson and Shaq Lawson, and they're going to do good, and it's going to be okay.
What do you think about the matchup?
I think it's going to be a good game, and I think Alabama's going to pull it out, though, for a win.
Do you think I can tackle Derrick Henry?
No one can tackle Derrick Henry. You could probably tackle his ankles.
Do you think I can tackle Derrick Henry?
I'd like to see you try.
Could I tackle Derrick Henry?
No, and neither could I. And I don't think all three of us could together. Roll Tide, let's go.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide! Yeah. All right, folks, that wraps it up. Playoff Fan Central, and the energy is high for Alabama versus Clemson. A lot of opinions out there. It's certainly going to be a good one. Monday night, ladies and gentlemen, is the national championship game.
Cam Rogers, what a great job talking to all those fans. Well, he's not the only one out here getting some predictions. We've talked to celebrities, we've talked to football legends, former players, coaches, you name it, and we've asked everyone who they're taking in this game, Clemson or Alabama. Check this out.
I think Bama's going to win, of course. Final score, I would say 35-17.
24-17, Clemson win.
31-28, Clemson.
I'm thinking around like a 31 to 20, no, 31-14.
Let me see. Clemson's going to win the game.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain.
Something about Dabo Swinney that I root for, and so hopefully it's a great game, and it comes down to maybe the fourth quarter, and hopefully Clemson's right there in it.
Obviously, Alabama's going to win.
I think it's 31-21 Alabama. I think they might score a little bit, but I think we're just going to score a lot more.
Clemson's dynamic, but Alabama has the strength, and I think in the end, in a championship game, that strength is going to overcome the speed and the dynamic athletes that Clemson has.
I like Clemson. I really do believe Clemson has a better team.
Final score.
Final score, besides having one more point than the opponent, I'm going to say 24-17, somewhere in there, 28-21, somewhere in there.
Clemson 27-17.
I got 34-20.
Prediction is close.
We've got our own predictions coming up here after the break. Our entire crew takes Clemson or Alabama. Stay tuned.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. A secret hiding spot brings to life hush whispers and quiet giggles. And a fairy tale is a magical ending to a perfect day. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs, Hide and Seek, Bedtime Stories, and you.
Go, 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 go!
You're there every step of the way.
Go, 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 go! Yay!
Help them go further with the protection of life insurance from New York Life. Get started today.
Style lets you stand out from the herd. What's inside sets you apart. The 2016 Cadillac Escalade.
Here is Connor, leaping for a touchdown. That's a man's jam. Touchdown of the show. Holy famous Davis. He's got it. Fumble. Touchdown.
At Nova Home Loans, we know your home is where some of the most important times of your life take place. Poolside contests become a thing of legend. Nova Home Loans is more than a mortgage company. We're the official sponsor of Cannonballs and you.
We are back here in Glendale in the lead up to the 2016 National Championship game between Clemson and Alabama, and we have done entirely too much analysis, and it's time to get to some predictions. I'm going to get everybody down the line here, but let's check back in at 120 with Ray and BMAC and get their thoughts.
All right, Bonnie, thanks very much. All right, BMAC, you do the honors. Go first.
Clemson winning, score 31-23.
Ooh, wow.
Let's go ACC.
How do you think it'll play out?
I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining game. Of course, high explosive game with the points being in the 30s, and with Alabama defense. A lot of people feel like Clemson will not have that type of success, but I'm a believer in a good quarterback, and Clemson has a great quarterback.
Look, I think Deshaun Watson's actually going to disrupt this Alabama defense more than people give him credit for. If you do contain him in the pocket, I've seen good dual-threat mobile quarterbacks be able to find a seam in the interior and push the football up the field 6, 7, 8 yards. They do well on first and second down. It could be a long night, I think, for the Alabama defense. Do we really think we're going to see two back-to-back game of his life type performances from Jake Coker in 2 weeks after Cotton Bowl? Can he do that again tonight? I don't know. He just hasn't shown the consistency, to me anyway, to be that great. And I think I disagree with Pete, and I think you do too, in terms of the physicality. I think Clemson is going to be able to match some physical ability here with this Alabama team. It's going to be an entertaining game. I like Clemson 28-24 in this one to pull off the upset. Bonnie?
Gentlemen, thank you so much. I've been given a specific order. I'm hoping I don't screw it up. Jordan, I think we start with you.
Alabama wins the game 28-24. A lot of big plays. Alabama makes the last big play of the game. I got Alabama.
You sweet kid. It's not going to be fun, America. I'm sorry. It's going to be a blowout. 37-17 Alabama. Utterly ugly blowout.
It's ugly. Do you think it's going to be ugly?
Look at me. It's Clemson. All right?
ACC Digital Network.
I'll acknowledge the bias. Let's just be transparent. But I think the Tigers win at 23-16.
Shae.
I'm going 21-17 Alabama. Roll Tide, roll.
You are the contrarian. I'm going to go Alabama 31-27. I think it's going to be a way closer game than you think it's going to be.
They're covering a spread in your... You sweet kids. I love you guys.
I know.
I can't help you any more than I have this entire season. Alabama rolls.
We're all giving him way too much credit.
All right. So are we going to have to owe you dinner if you're the...
I'm already looking up Phoenix restaurants.
But here's the thing. If we all win, you have to take all of us out.
Except for few.
Yeah, he does eat a lot.
I can't make you guys better at football. I wish I could. I can't make it better.
And on that note, we're going to keep an eye on those two big storylines. Shaq Lawson, I'm told, is good to go. And then Mackenzie Alexander potentially hampered with a hamstring injury for Clemson. We may see more of Mr. Tankersley on Calvin Ridley. Thank you so much for joining us in our coverage of the National Championship brought to you by Nova Home Loans. She tried to say, enjoy the game. We're going to see you right back on Campus Insiders for post-game coverage on the field and plenty of analysis.
He's got a man wide open. Calvin Ridley. There's your first deep shot. And it's caught. It's kicked. It's six. And it is caught. Do you believe it? Henry, nice move. He will stroll in untouched.
These updates are brought to you by our friends at Nova Home Loans, the official sponsor of you.